Well, hello there, everyone. My name is Amy, this is the Opinionated Woman, and welcome to a little haul. My mom just recently came from the UK to surprise my grandmother for her 80th birthday, which means that I usually get an influx of books. I have books, but I also have a couple of miscellaneous items that I'm very excited about, so I'll show you at the end. So let's look at the books first. This is actually one that I just picked up recently. My mom didn't give me this one, but I found it for very cheap at Bargain Books, and I was at Queer Book Club recently, and Brandon, who runs Queer Book Club, sold me on this book so hard that I was like, okay, I need to get it. That and another person who was there said that it absolutely broke them. And this is a queer novel. It's best for me to say, so it's a singular and stunning debut novel about the forbidden union between two enslaved young men on a deep South plantation, the refuge they find in each other, and the betrayal that threatens their existence. So it's about their love story, but it's also about being enslaved. There's also a part that I was a little bit skeptical about, but apparently this is like, I'll see why this element is in there once I actually get into the book. But it says, when a fellow slave seeks to gain favor by preaching the master's gospel on the plantation, the slaves begin to turn on their own. Isaiah and Samuel's love, which was once so simple, is as seen as sinful and a clear danger to the plantation's harmony. And I usually avoid reading enslaved novels because they are very hard to read, though I think it is my duty as a white person to be more educated in this kind of thing. So that's The Prophets. I'm excited about it. Then we have The Feast by Margaret Kennedy. Now, my mom got recommended this by one of the narrow people she followed. I'll put her name here. I can't for the life of me remember. But they're reading this for her book club, for her Patreon that my mom is part of. So my mom read it and she absolutely steamed through it. And she was like, you have to read this book so we can talk about it. She was like, please make this higher up on your list so that we can chat about this book. So it's about this hotel called the Pendezac Manor Hotel. And it's basically just collapsed on, like, it was built on a cliff, and the cliff was like really unsteady underneath it, and the entire hotel falls through, and 7 people die. 7 guests have perished, it says. So we know that going in, and then we go back to a week before and we learn about all the different characters in this, while having that tension around it that we know that these people are going to die, which is so intriguing. Like she said, it's so wonderfully written, and I'm really excited to dive into this because I'd never heard of it before. But yeah, very excited to try this one. Then at the airport, my mom picked me up the Safekeep by Yael van der Wouden. This is a translated novel, I think translated from the Dutch. It's the Women's Prize for Fiction winner 2025, and it was shortlisted for the Booker Prize 2024. So we're following our main character, Isabel, who's like kind of has a very solitary life, when one day her brother comes and just drops off his kind of like shut off, graceless, they describe her on the back, girlfriend, and they have to coexist. I know Jen Campbell spoke very, very highly of this, and it's such a beautiful copy. Look at the step back. So I'm very intrigued about that. I love literary fiction. You know that about me already. Then I have a memoir by Nina Stibbe called Went to London, Took the Dog. And this is about Nina, who she leaves London and she goes to stay in the house of a writer. She takes her dog Peggy and she goes to stay in the house of a writer called Debbie in Camden for a year-long sabbatical, as a little break from her life that she was having in Cornwall. And it just follows, it's like her diaries of that particular time in her life. I don't know that much detail about it. Debbie does not have many demands, only to water the garden, watch for toads, and defrost the old pie. So Nina is free to explore the city she once called home. And I love a good memoir, especially a small memoir about normal people. And I have, like, in the last year been to London. So That's going to be very interesting. I just know my mom really enjoyed this one. She was in a bit of a reading slump. She was reading this book for a really long time, and since she finished reading this book, she is plowing through books like crazy. So I'm super proud of her, and she really liked this one, so I think I'm going to really like this one. Then I read actually I have read this already. I read it on the plane coming home and on my visits to Joburg, where I got all of these. But I'll just tell you, this is The Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. It's a YA. It's about our main character, Moni, who loves cooking, and she's a teen mom. And it's about her finding her love for food and discovering like where her life is going to be going and mapping out a place for herself and her daughter. And Elizabeth Acevedo is writing. Oh, I hope she's currently writing something new, because this is the last book of hers that I have left. I've read everything else, she's so wonderful. Her characters are so rich. They're always Latine and Black, so there's so much culture in her books. Like, it's just, and the description of food is absolutely delectable. Then I have White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, and it came from a secondhand bookstore, so there's no jacket, which is so annoying, because the actual jacket for this book, I'll put it here, is so pretty, but unfortunately I don't have it. I have read all of Tiffany D. Jackson's or most of her other novels. My favorite was Grown, but all of the books that I've read of hers, I've read on audio, and I was like, it would be really nice to actually own a Tiffany D. Jackson. And this one is a teen psychological thriller about this teenager whose family moved to a different city because of her mom's job, and they end up in this house that seems to be haunted. It's got like objects are moving in the house, doors are slamming, all of that kind of stuff, and she has to figure out what is occurring in this house. And I think it sounds spooky and brilliant, and I really liked when she did The Weight of Blood. The Weight of Blood was so well done, so I know she can do horror and thriller really well, and I love Tiffany D. Jackson's writing, so I'm so psyched to try this. And then finally, when it comes to the books, I got The Girl Who Wrote Loneliness by Shin. This is a Korean writer. She wrote Please Look After Mother, which I absolutely freaking loved. So I decided I needed to pick up another book of hers. And I think this is, because if you look at the first line, there's a note in it in another language. Interesting. So I don't know, it says, this book, I believe, will turn out to be not quite fact and not quite fiction, but something in between. I wonder if it'll be called literature. I ponder the act of writing. What does writing mean to me? So it says here that it's richly autobiographical, and it lays bare the conflict and confusion that Shin faces as she confronts the past and the sweeping social change of the past century. So it's about a teenage girl arriving in Seoul, to work in a factory. Her family are in the countryside and impoverished. They can't send her to school. So she starts to work very long days in a factory. And her writing is so freaking beautiful. Who's the translator for this? It doesn't say. But like, I loved Please Look After Mother so much. I needed to read something else of hers, and I'm really excited to have this in my hands. So those are all the books. Let me show you the shirt quickly. And she got me this. I love Lucy Bronze. I love Lucy Bronze so much. And there's my lady. There's my lady. I love her so much. I was like, holy shit, I have a bronze shirt. Especially since England just won the Euros. So like having this, and she played the whole Euros with a broken tibia. What the fuck? She's insane. But this is my first, I've got a Lionesses England shirt, but it doesn't say on the outside, it just says on the inside that it's Lionesses. Well, now I have my bronze shirt. So very excited about that. Like, I love my mom, she's so cool. See me here, I completely forgot what item that I got from my mom. And that is these amazing pants. And let me get something to put you on. these amazing pants from Lucy and Yak. They're like just straight up and down. Nice elasticated waist for the belly. Booty looks fantastic. Oh my God. Hot diggity damn. Booty looks fantastic in these. And the print is by a small artist. I'll put the name here. That worked with them. And it's a bunch of lovely fat ladies. Lovely fat ladies. 10 out of 10. Okay, back to the video. And another reason my mom is so cool is that my mom bought me and all the other women and NBs in our family little frogs. This is Eden. She was made by Narrowboat Bears. So my mom lives on a narrowboat, which is why she got the recommendation from one of the narrowboat content creators, Chris Atomic. Her name is Chris Atomic. The one who recommended the feast is called Chris Atomic. There's another lady on a boat that makes these little frogs, and they have like little wires in them so you can pose them, and they've got little shorts on and a little sweater. So this is my friend Eden. I love her with all my heart. And then my mom also commissioned this little shrimp. So she's got a little shrimp friend and a little rainbow sweater. So every now and again I'll swap it out and put on her rainbow sweater, but if this just isn't the cutest thing you've ever seen in your whole life. I love seeing the person that animates one of these frogs on Instagram, and now I have my own little baby. Oh. And the last thing that I got is so cute, and it is this camera. It's called a kid's photo printer, and it looks like a little Instax camera, but I'll show you. So that's what it looks like on there. And then so it doesn't use film, it uses like this kind of like almost like till roll. So let me show you what it will look like if I take a photo of you. It's so fun. Because I journal, so this is like really fun for me to have. So this is how the picture comes out. It just uses heat. That's you on my tripod and me taking a photo of you. Isn't that so fun? My mom got one for my cousin, and then bought one for Jay, my sibling, and she asked if I would, she told me to give it a try and see if I would like one, and I said yes please, I would very much like one. So this is what I got. I love it so much. So that is my haul. I'm so excited. I love stocking up on my books, and then my mom is always so thoughtful with the gifts that she gets without us even asking for them. She's just such a generous and wonderful woman. I'm so lucky to have her. My mom is just the coolest person in the whole world. She's a bisexual who lives on a fucking boat, and she supports everything I love. She's just the coolest person in the world. So mom, love you. If you want to see more from me, my Shopify for Real Gay Crochet is down below if you want to see any of my crochet creations. My TikTok and Instagram are down there, and my Kofi link, which is a one-time tip jar if you ever want to support my channel. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, and I'll take you next time.